What's up, nerds? So I finished House of the Dragon episode 3 from season 2, and this show continues to make me happy. I really like this show a lot. I think it's very good. I think that they're doing a good job from the books to this show. I think that the acting is very good on top of it. I think that, one thing from the book that when you read it, it doesn't read like a regular novel. And I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. It doesn't read like a regular novel. You get one story from, like the High Septon, and then you get another story from like Mushroom. And they're two conflicting stories, but this show is just, this is how it went down. And I really like that a lot. I like the decisiveness. And I really just like what they're saying, like at a commentary throughout the show. We got it last episode, and now we're getting it a little bit with this episode, with talking about how the actions of these rich folk, they determine what happens to the small folk. And I think that's a good commentary. I think it's very interesting, and I'm happy that they did it because I'm enjoying it so far. So I'm going to get into this breakdown and just share with you what I think about, certain things that are going on. And you can tell me what you guys thought about this episode and if you liked it, all that good stuff. But let's get into it, and then we'll discuss it on the other side. All right, here we go. Oh, I hate this opening now. It's no good anymore. Who are these assholes?
Put the boundary stones back.
Oh, shit, they're about to fight.
You wouldn't dare.
He's dead. He's dead. Oh, they all are. That was a huge battle, I guess. Like 6 little boys all like, we're gonna fight. Oh shit, it's a bunch of people. Man, they took that shit seriously. All this over some stones? Get out of here. That's insane. So there's like these ancient grudges that are starting to resurface, and these brackens and these blackwoods, like they just like brutally like have a bloody battle with each other and burn this mill to the ground in the Riverlands. Okay, so now these two houses have been feuding forever, and he says it later on. It's said later on in the episode of why were they feuding, and it's one of those things that's lost in time. And I cannot imagine a feud this freaking long that you're just so mad at another family that you're just like, we're gonna die for it. And they did, because they're just all bloody and everything. It's like crazy. But I did think that this was crazy. He's like, who moved those stones? And you're all like, he's like, we didn't move your stones. Like, they didn't move themselves. I'm like, you're right, they didn't move themselves, but maybe he's telling the truth. I mean, like, do you guys really want to go to war over some stones? Like, come on. Rhaenyra suggests to Rhaenyra, while burying Sears, Eric, and Eric, that Alicent may see like reason while the men around her seek bloody bloodshed. So I did like this scene with Rhaenyra and Rhaenys. I did like this because I liked how Rhaenys was just like, these men, they do not want, they just want to go to war. And they don't understand, they're not going to be the ones going to war. They're going to be the ones sitting back making all the decisions. And then I do like later on when she's with her council, how she's sitting there and they like basically they're just telling her she should go to war, and she's all like, I like that when she's all like, and basically you're trying to stage a coup, and you best be glad that I don't kill you. I mean, she probably should have killed them right then and there, because if they're already ready to make decisions for her, then maybe they just aren't worth having around. You know what I'm saying? Oh. They're just sitting down on the job. You just can't hire good help anymore. You know what I'm saying? Sir Criston, he proposes a bold scheme to conquer Harrenhal, and then Aegon is eager to accompany him. So they decide they're going to go to Harrenhal, right? and they're in the little council or whatnot, and they need the castle because it's the way to the Riverlands, right? And so Criston Cole, he's gonna go. And Aegon at first wants to go with him. He's like already set to go, and then later on he gets persuaded not to. Oh. I just want to say Craxus is my favorite dragon. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's like the best. I love the red worm. I wonder if Daemon, like when he got him, he's all like, the red one's mine. I called the red one. I called it. That's Harrenhal. Wow, that's so cool. I love the way the dragon flies. It's so cool. It's so funny because like Harrenhal is like the hugest like castle. I think it's the biggest castle in Westeros. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember, whatever. But then it like got destroyed like a way back when and everything, and now it's just like, you know, it's just a crumbly old mess, but people just still live there. It's like an abandoned house, and people are just like, well, there's a couple of walls, we might as well just live here. You know, I'm just like, what? Like, look at it, it's all dingy, and he's just going through, like, there's nobody here, like, they're just all like, you know, do He finds the one guard and beats the shit out of him. Like, calm down, buddy. Dinner's over.
I, Sir Simon Strong, Castellan of Harrenhal, pledge fealty to Rhaenyra of House...
Fucker gave up real quick.
What then brings you to our corner of the Riverlands?
Harrenhal is the largest castle in the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh, I was right. This repair is right, honey. This castle is dead. You know what I'm saying?
And I have to clean up after.
Oh, hey! They got Millie Elcott back. That's nice. Ew. So Daemon, he arrives at Harrenhal to raise an army for the Blacks and is pledged allegiance, but remains skeptical of the situation because, like, he just, like, doesn't trust these motherfuckers. But he's by the ancient tree, and he has a vision of young Rhaenyra, and she's, like, sewing the head back onto Jaehaerys, the little boy that died. And he then awakens, and this young woman tells him he'll die there. So Daemon arrives. There's nobody like gonna fight him on this stuff. Like, nobody's gonna be all like, oh, no, please don't take our crappy castle. Our very big crappy castle. It's like what? Why are people fighting over this? You know what I'm saying? It's like an old boot that you're fighting over, and it's like, but it's the biggest old boot, and you're like, okay, I guess, and everything. But he does want to start to rebuild. And I liked that, but I also liked how he had his vision, and he had Rhaenyra in there, and it was Millie Elcott, which I liked seeing her back. But she was just like, you always come and go how you please, and I have to clean it up. And she was sewing on the head of Jaehaerys, and I thought that was not only gross, but it was very interesting what was going on there and like what was being said. And then he just comes out of it, right? And then there's that woman, and I'm not going to tell you who the woman is, but she's like a mystic almost. You know, they think she's kind of like a witch, or like I wouldn't say a soothsayer, but you know, I will say a witch. You know, but she does play a part later on, and she tells him, she's like, you're gonna die here, and she's not lying. I'll tell you that, because. And I'll just tell you right now, I'm sorry, spoilers, you guys. A lot of people die from both sides in this. But the battle with Daemon, it's called the Battle Above the God's Eye. And it's going to be very good, but also very sad at the same time. So Rhaenyra sends Rhaena off with, oh my gosh, their names are all together. Anyways, so like I said, Rhaenyra sends Rhaena off with her children and the dragon eggs to the Arryns to keep them safe. So Rhaenyra sends Rhaena off to take all her children, all the boys, and she's got like 3 of them that are still young enough to go off, you know, with her. And they do end up riding dragons. So she sends off Joffrey, which another Joffrey, and then she sends off Aegon, the 15th or whatever. And then she sends off her other son. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. And both those two boys, they will ride dragons, because she does send the dragons. They're already hatched and everything. She does send their 2 dragons with her, and those are, I think she said, Traxxas and Stormcloud. And I don't know if Rhaenyra, is that Rhaenyra, if she ever rides a dragon. But it was very it was sad, because she doesn't want to go, but she does have the eggs, and I do think that those are the eggs that we see in Game of Thrones later on, but I don't know off the top of my head. Massaria, having warned Rhaena of Eric, she finds her place in court as her master of whispers. So Massaria, she spends her capital that she got on warning the queen about Sir Eric. Or was it Eric? Anyways, so she spends her capital and says, "I want to be your master of whispers." And that's a good game, because she knows her way about King's Landing, and she helps her out later on. So it was very interesting to see how she was just like, "I'm not very surprised very often, but you surprised me by letting me go," and everything. And I was like, that's interesting.
Grace was outwitted by his counselors and persuaded to fly to war with Sir Criston.
This cripple
may reign in his absence.
This cripple is really good at his job. I don't know if those whispers are true. In the book, there's like, you get different stories in the book. You get one from the high, from the Septons, and then you get another, from the High Septon, and then you get another story from Mushroom. So it's really like in the book, it's just 2 separate stories. So it's so good. Meanwhile, Lars becomes Aegon's master of whispers. So Lars, he creeps me out. Like, I'm just straight up like, you're a creeper. I do not like you. And there's a reason why we shouldn't like him. But he is the master of whispers, right? And he convinces Aegon, because he's telling him a little rumor, what he heard on the rumor mill. He's telling him what the rumors. And one of the rumors is that he was convinced by his mother, Lady Alicent, to leave the city so that she could rule the city. And he doesn't like that idea. So he decides he's not going to go to war with Sir Cole. And he stays behind and everything. And I was like, interesting, Lars. But don't worry, because we will see him fight. And I think the next episode, we're going to see that big fight. And I will talk about that at the end. But yeah.
You're sworn to chastity now.
Of course, Your Grace.
Yes, Your Grace.
You really can't hire good help anymore in the 7 Kingdoms. Jesus.
I really shouldn't be telling you this.
Then don't. At a brothel, a secret uncle of Rhaenyra emerges, who claims to be the half-brother of Viserys and Daemon. As Aegon arrives with members of the Kingsguard and a new squire to have him lose his virginity. Woo woo. So this guy in the brothel that claims to be a bastard and the half brother of Daemon and Viserys, I don't know if he's lying or not. I don't know who this character is off the top of my head. But I mean, if he is, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, they were just handing out bastards like they were Halloween candy to bitches. You know what I'm saying? That's, you remember in Game of Thrones when the queen had all the bastards of King Baratheon murdered and everything. So it's like that. They just hand out bastards left and right. You know what I'm saying? And then Aegon, he comes in there, right, with the squire kid that he's gonna pop his cherry, which I mean is kind of generous, but at the same time I'm just all like, I don't know if you want that to be your first time. I mean, whatever, it's fine, whatever. My first time was, I don't know, kind of special. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that. You don't want to hear about it. Anyways, yeah, I don't think a brothel is the best place when you lose your virginity. Oh, found Aemond.
Aemond the Fierce! You have come so far, and yet you still lie with your very first. What a fine, sweet thing. Did you fuck her like a hound? Woo!
This is not very nice. He's treating his brother very meanly. I don't like it. Oh man. I mean, oh, his cock is out. His cock is out. He discovers a naked Aemond with a prostitute he was going to offer to the squire, and he proceeds to taunt Aemond, who gruffly flees. So then when he runs into Aemond, right? What a horrible thing to do to your brother. Like, I do like my brothers. I would never embarrass them like this, even if I didn't like them, which I do like my brothers. I mean, there was a time when I obviously didn't like them because I was younger and they were like my older brothers and they just made me mad all the time. But even then, I wouldn't embarrass them in front of people. And he just like embarrassed him. He's like laughing at him and like barking at him like a dog. What did he say? Like, did you pound her like a wolf or something? I don't remember what he said. And he was like, oh. And I'm like, you need to calm it down, fucker. And then Aemond, because that was his first prostitute. I was like, has he never been with another woman? I'm like, oh, he fell in love with this first. I'm like, and that's why you shouldn't have a sex worker be your first time. You know what I'm saying? But he just like he's all like, and a prostitute's good enough. And he like walks out and they showed everything, which I'm all like, I didn't need to see that, but fine, whatever. I wonder how that actor felt about that. Like I would be mortified. They were like, we want you to show your dick. I'd be like, pass. But I mean, whatever. It's fine. So he gets up and he just walks out, but his blue eye, and I did my rap, but his blue eye is just very cool looking. Like, I'm all like, that shit is spooky, but yet also very cool. I'd be like, that's some crazy shit right there. I wouldn't wear a patch if I was him, because that shit would be very intimidating. Look at that. You better run, piggies. The dragons are very cool. Criston, along with Alicent's brother Gwaine, is almost caught by Baela on her dragon.
If dragons begin fighting dragons, we invite our own destruction.
Yeah, that's the thing about the dragons is the Targaryens are the only ones that have them. So if the Targaryens are fighting each other, then they destroy the dragons, which is their strength. Everybody's afraid of the dragons. I mean, everybody should know that. Even these fuckers, they're not playing the Game of Thrones. I'll tell you right now. You know what happens with the Game of Thrones? You win or you die, and these fuckers obviously want to die. And then after Baela's news of Criston, Rhaenyra's counselors recommend war with the dragons. So I love how Gwaine, he's all like, my father used to work here. And you're all like, great. Now he doesn't. So stop acting like a dickhole. And I love how he's like, we're going to go to this inn and have some great wine and everything. We're not going to sleep on the ground with these soldiers. I'm royalty practically. I'm a lord and everything. And you're like, listen, Gwaine, nobody likes you right now, especially Cole. And he's like, you're a boss, so maybe you should listen to him. But they're out in the middle of the field. And Baela and her dragon, they just pop out of nowhere, Moon Dancer. And they're just flying around. They're like, look what we found. So they chase after him and they go into the woods. And I don't understand why she didn't just go into those, like land. Why didn't she land and just go into those woods and be like, bye out, bitch, and everything. Destroy, make Alicent even more pissed off. But she doesn't. She flies off and everything. And then the counselors are really like, we need to go to war. And she's like, you don't understand. But instead of that, Rhaenyra sneaks into King's Landings with Mysera's help, dressed up as a Septa, to speak to Alicent. And then Alicent tells her nothing can be done. Although Rhaenyra finds Alicent was told that the Aegon from the Song of Ice and Fire should be crowned. So now this last scene where Rhaenyra, she sneaks into the city and she talks to Alicent. She's all like, listen, we need to end this shit. One thing that I do think that was a mistake is she's like, your son is not the king. I should have been queen and everything. And I'm like, listen, honey, you're not going to win her over by that. And she's been everything. You gotta suggest something that she's going to like. Giving up her son's throne is not going to be the thing. So you need to figure something out. And then she's talking to her and she's like, your father said Aegon's name, and everything. And she's all like, did he say anything about me when he died? And she's like, no. She doesn't say no, but she shakes her head. And she's she said Aegon was the one to unite the throne or whatever the prophecy is from the Song of Ice and Fire. And she immediately is like, you misinterpreted what he said. He was talking about the prophecy. He was talking about the Song of Ice and Fire. You need to fix this. And she's like, fuck no, I don't. My father is no longer on the court. My son, my brother is off to war. I only have myself. And my son's king. So, honey. So I just thought that was I was like, and then she just like walks off, and I was like, man, I was like, you done shot your shot, and you didn't win. So now the things I do want to talk about. So I want to talk about, we got Rhaenys. Rhaenys. Is that her name? Is that how you say her name? I see. This is the thing. They have too many names that sound so Rhaenys. I really like her and Lord Valyrian. They're super cute as a couple. But I believe she will have her big battle next episode with Meleys, her dragon. My only thing is with that battle is, and that's supposed to be the battle at Rook's Creek, or Rook's Rest. But the thing is, Lord Cole, not Lord Cole. His name's Sir Cole. He said he was going to Harrenhal, but I don't think that they're going to. I hope they don't mix the two, because there's the battle at Harrenhal, which is the battle under the God's Eye. I think that's the name of it. Don't get mad at me if I get it wrong, because I need to reread the book like just now. But the battle of the God's Eye, but the Rook's Rest is where Rhaenys has her big battle. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens in that battle, but I will tell you right now, it is a dragon fight, and it is going to be good and sad, because this is a war and people die in war. And I'm not going to tell you who's going to die, but I'll just tell you right now, there's, some other dragons involved and everything. But it's good. But she will have her big battle, I believe, next episode. And yeah. But I did like her little moment with her husband and everything. That was super cool. Also, I want to talk about is I liked the scene with Alicent and her daughter. I thought that was very like touching, because her daughter was all like, I forgive you. And I just personally, Helena, I just personally thought that was very good, because I was all like, what does she forgive her for? What is she talking about here? She says, I forgive you. And is she talking about the night that her son died? Or is she talking about a life of her being a bad mother and not really looking at her as a daughter, looking at her as a pawn on the chess game or the board of the Game of Thrones? And it was just really, I was like, good on you, Helena. I know you're not all there all the time, and you're a little weird and kooky, but, and you're fun, but I just, yeah, I mean, she's a better person than me. If my mother treated me like that, I would be like, I don't forgive you. You were a horrible mother, and I'm your child. You could have treated me like that, not a pawn. So I thought that was good. And I'm excited to see the next episode. I really do think the next episode will be the battle at Rook's Rest. And I'm very curious how we'll see there, but yeah. But that's my thoughts on this. This show is very good. I don't, people are like, I saw some people saying that this was a slow burn, and I disagree 100%. It is not a slow burn, you guys. I think it's a buildup, and you can't just shoot it within, you can't shoot your shot within the first 2 minutes. You got to try to hold out a little bit longer, maybe edge yourself a little bit. I think that's what's happening here. And I'm personally enjoying every minute of it. I like it a lot. But tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite part? Who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite dragon? Is it Craxys like me? Or do you like Meleys or Cyrax? Whichever one. It doesn't matter. Moon Dancer, all that good shit. But tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on my next video. You guys have a good day. Bye.